Hey guys, hello and welcome in the new video. Don't hesitate to subscribe to this channel to not miss the next video. Today I will give you the solution about our WordPress practical exercise. And let's go. We can play inside the terminal. You will have in the video description, you will have the link about the repository. So this is a DevOps Land repository, but into it you will have Kubernetes and the directory 35, and you will have a dedicated file with all into it. So let's get started. The first thing that I want to do is to create our NFS server to store, so I can share the diagram, to store here the persistent volume for our MySQL and for our WordPress. So to do that, it's quite easy. We can first install, so I have two servers here. The first one here, the S.10, the S10 is the Kubernetes cluster, but in fact it's only one node, but it doesn't matter for us, it's enough. And just below we have the NFS server, where we will install it. The first thing is apt install NFS kernel server. So let's go. We already did it, and you can just go back in the playlist if you want to just check or have a look on the previous video. Don't hesitate. After that, we have to create the /srv, we need to create WordPress and MySQL. So we did it with this command. Okay, perfect. And just after that, we will configure our NFS server in /etc export. So we put just one line into it. So we just put here the directory, the WordPress directory, the set, the range of our CIDR to accept the connection from another server inside this IP range, the read-write access, sync, no root squash, no subtree check, sorry, and we push it here, and exactly the same thing for MySQL, like that. We restart and we ensure that all mount point is set, so with the export fs command line with -a, and now if we run just a simple export fs with just a sudo, we can check, and we have the mount allow to provide and allow to share with the other server. Just like a dirty solution, but it's really bad to do that. So the 777 setting here, but it's just to be quick and dirty. So never do that in production. It's really important. And after that, on the client side, we need to ensure that we have the NFS client. So on Debian, it's NFS-common, and we will set it on our Kubernetes cluster. We have only one node, but if you have, for example, 3, 5 nodes or whatever, you need to set it on all nodes of your Kubernetes cluster, because if your pod just switch and pass, for example, to VM1 to VM2, for example, to another server, we need to have the NFS client to ensure that we will be allowed to mount the NFS mount for our Kubernetes volume. Already did it, it's okay. And now let's go for the Kubernetes things. So just before, what we can check that in /srv store into it, we have nothing. And at the end of this tutorial, you will see normally we will have data inside the MySQL and WordPress directory. Let's go. The first thing that we need to do is to create a dedicated namespace where we want to work. So this is a WordPress namespace. We can switch on it probably. Oh no, kubernetes. Okay, not this. It's not a problem. If we use get ns, we have our WordPress namespace, so it's okay. After that, we will use a storage class. So we have storage class, we have persistent volume. Yes, it's good. We will use here the storage class to create the storage class named MySQL, and that allows us to connect our persistent volume and persistent volume claim for the MySQL part. So with that, it's okay. So now I can make a kubectl get storage class. It's cluster wide, so we have now the MySQL storage class, and we can create the same thing for the WordPress. So okay, and after that we need to set how to connect to our NFS server. So I need to check before, but normally I need to change it. Yes, we need to set the IP of our NFS server. This is what I check here, and I need to edit this file because it's wrong with Vim, like here, and we need to set here the IP. So it's the 16, and exactly the same thing for the WordPress here, 16. Yes, 16. Okay, and we can just double check what we do, but for here it's yes, it's here. We use we want to set what? A persistent volume based on the storage class MySQL for the MySQL persistent volume. We want to just allocate 1 gigabyte and read-write once only. We want to retain the volume, so we don't want to drop or to remove the volume when we will remove, for example, the PVC, and we will want to mount on this IP this directory. So this is exactly what we have inside the export ifs here for export here. So it's good. That will be this one, and now we can do it with this command line again. So it's okay normally for the kubectl get persistent volume. We have it here, it's available. That means the persistent volume is mounted between the cluster and our NFS server for the MySQL. Now the same thing for the WordPress persistent volume again, so it's good. I think you can have a look, and it's available as well. Let's go to use it. So to use it, we need if you check, the persistent volume is cluster wide, meaning that you can have only one persistent volume name named WordPress on your cluster, and same thing for MySQL. But now take care, because for a persistent volume claim, it's dedicated to a specific namespace. Here it's a WordPress namespace, of course, and we want to create the persistent volume claim named MySQL, and we want to use the entire volume provided by the persistent volume. So this is 1 giga, and read-write once as well. We can't change it. Okay, and we can do the same thing here for WordPress. okay, and we are quite good to use it again. So yes, we are on WordPress namespace. WordPress, it's good. It's pending because we need to mount, we need to create our deployment and to mount it through the deployment. And now let's go. What we need to do? Yes, first we need to set some secrets for our WordPress and MySQL. So here it's for MySQL. So that will be this secret will be mounted inside the MySQL deployment, and that set the user password, the WordPress database, and the WordPress user. It's a base, it's encoded in base 64. If you want to check it, you can do like that, for example. Here, normally it's a bad password, of course, and base 64-D to decrypt, and this is password, the value of our password. Now what we want to do, we want to use a config map, and to set a config map just to add it inside the WordPress deployment to say, okay, we will have a key named hostdb to set the DB name, so MySQL. Okay, and after that, now we are ready to deploy the MySQL here with a deployment. So we can have a look on it. We have the namespace, of course, the name of the deployment, sorry, and some labels. This one is quite important. This one is really more important because this is the specification part, and we have into it the template. Like it's MySQL, it's really better to use stateful set, but here we use deployment, and it's better to use a strategy recreate, meaning that and if you want to double check this part, you can go back in this playlist and have a look inside the strategy part where I have explained what is the recreate, but recreate meaning when you push a new version of the MySQL, the first things that the cluster will do is to terminate the MySQL and then create the new pod to ensure to not have two pods at the same time, because here we can corrupt and have inconsistent data. In the template side, really important to have the label app MySQL to match the selector here. Into it we have containers. Of course, this is really bad. It's not a good configuration. We have MySQL 8.0, so it's not up to date. Some key value for our environment variable. Here we have like the mount about the config map to say where is our and which service we will use for the MySQL to use the MySQL. In fact, the MySQL user here from our secret, and the MySQL password from our secret. We have multiple way to set this part. Here it's just key by key, but we can mount and set env from key inside our specification to say, okay, I want to mount all environment variables set inside our secret, but here we use like classical key, so it's in minus and you minus case, and it's better in this case to mount it like here, but in fact if you want to be quick on it, it's better to pass the entire secret, but to do that you need to just change the settings that you have inside here inside your secret, and set, for example, in the WordPress user or stuff like that. You can set it directly. But yeah, that's it for this part. We have the MySQL user, MySQL password. We have the port of our MySQL. So this is 3306 and the name of this port. Then we mount our PVC here. So this is a MySQL PVC, and we mount it inside the container, the MySQL container /var lib MySQL. This is where MySQL store its data. Okay, we can use it. Sorry, like here. Okay. And then we can check, so we can check inside the WordPress namespace. WordPress kubectl get pod. It's container creating because we need to have a few seconds to download the image inside our cluster on the specific node. And after that, we will create the dedicated service to MySQL, and that will be a cluster IP because we don't want to and we don't need to use the MySQL outside of our cluster. So just only for the WordPress application. We need to wait, I think, kubectl describe PO, and this is the MySQL here. Sorry. Yes, it's on the namespace WordPress. And if we have a look into it, we have the image. Yes, in a few seconds. Okay, and if we check again, yes, we have a MySQL up and running. It's quite good. In fact, normally to be production ready, you have to change all these settings. You need to change, of course, how we mount our secret. You need to add probes with health check, with readiness, liveness, and stuff like that. It's quite important. If you want to improve the security, you can set, but we will see that only in a couple of video, how to set network policy and stuff like that. So yes, it's not. We are not in production ready stuff. We have our MySQL. We can check if we can make a kubectl get endpoint on our WordPress namespace to be sure that our service, endpoint in WordPress. What I did. So I can check first. WordPress. Yes, maybe. Yes, I don't push this part. The service, of course, without service, no endpoint. And yes, like here, we can see. Yes, we have an endpoint, meaning that the service finds a pod. And this is the IP of the pod, so it's quite good. Now the WordPress, and for the WordPress, the first things, we already have the PVC. Now we can continue, and we can create the deployment for our WordPress with also classical settings. We have the latest version of WordPress. I hope that it works normally. We mount our config map into it. The WordPress DB password, so this is our MySQL password, the WordPress DB user, and the WordPress DB name. Now after that, we need to set the persistent volume claim amount. Here it's just the HTML directory as well. So now we can check if it's this one. Yes, we need to wait a little bit because the WordPress image is quite huge, in fact. Yes, we need to wait a bit. And after that, we want to use or just to access to our WordPress, because while access, it's not ready to use. In fact, it's really bad to use a node port like that, but we haven't seen the ingress. We'll see that later, and this is the only way that we have to access to our WordPress. So we can wait a bit, or we can set the service during this time. We have a service named based on a type of node port type. We set and we fix a static node port, so we can have a dynamic node port, but here it's a static node port, and we want to have a service based on the port 80 and target the pod on the port 80 as well. If I check again, we have a WordPress up and running. It's quite good. So now, yes, I already push it, so it's quite good as well. If I check the endpoint, like we already did it, we have a WordPress on this port. So now, what we can do, we can check the IP of our node with a -o white, for example, or we can just use because we only have one node, so we can check directly the IP here, but our IP is this one, the port is this one. Okay, I can just open a browser, and we are on the port, yes, this one, and normally we will have, yes, our WordPress in English, yes, if you want. I can say, so it's my demo, oh, no, my demo WordPress. The user is demo, for example. The password will be password just to test. Very, I can use it, yes, x@me.fr, like that. Discourage anyway. Okay, not now. So now we can log into it. What is the user? This is demo, password, and a few seconds. So it's not quick because we have only one VM in our Kubernetes cluster. It's a little VM. We already have our Kubernetes on it, so it's not really quick. We can create our first post. We already have the hello world. I can remove it. I can add here a new post and say test 1, publish, so hello Xav key, like that. Okay, I can publish it. It's okay. Yes, publish, perfect. And now if I just go back and go on the visitor on the site, we have it here. But do we have and can we check if we have persisted our data? So to test it, the first thing that we can do, we can check here on our NFS server if we have some files, and we have a lot of files here in /srv MySQL. We have our MySQL data, and same thing for WordPress. Okay, and meaning if you want to test, like we persist our WordPress data and it's on NFS server, meaning that we can use the same, so we can scale the WordPress. So to scale the WordPress, we can kubectl get deploy to have the name of the deployment. So it's on the namespace named WordPress again. And if we want, you can make kubectl -n WordPress scale, and what we want to scale, it's a deployment named WordPress, and we want with --replicas, and we want to have 2 WordPress, for example. Sorry. And if we check, so we can check the number of pods. Yes, we have 2 pods here. Perfect. And maybe if I refresh, it works. And normally when we do that, we are load balanced because remember we have a Kubernetes service, meaning that we are on a load balancer level 4 on TCP, and it's like a round robin load balancer. That meaning that we switch at each request on one pod or the other. Good. What we can do, we can scale to 0 to ensure that we will keep the test1 article. So it's a data. Okay, normally if I check no pod, no WordPress pod, and I can scale again to 2 replicas to test it. And if I check, normally it's quick, yes. And if I refresh, we have our test one, perfect, and I can go on my dashboard and so on. That's it for today. Thank you for following this video. Don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel. You can add a thumb and comment this video to support me, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.